I never share this publicly, but the reason why I have a variety of different YouTube channels is because I want to incorporate speaking to a variety of different audiences. So for example, someone who may be interested in mental health may not be interested in resilience and may not have a mindset of a high achiever. And I have these different YouTube channels because I want to incorporate and speak and share my message, my words of wisdom to as many people as I possibly can. And in order to do so, what I discovered is in order to reach certain groups of audience, you have to speak to that type of audience. And let me explain what I mean here. So for example, Victor the Inspiration is primarily talking about life with SMA, mental health, and resilience. I share what my story is, living with SMA, living with a progressive disability, living in and out of the hospital. Excuse me. I talk about mental health a lot. I talk about my psychiatric hold experience. I talk about the dark mental values I have endured through and persevered through. And I share what I have learned from those processes. And I also talk about resilience. I talk about the importance, the necessity that it takes to endure what you're going through, persevere what you're going through, because there's so much good that comes out from it. You just have to find a way to keep pushing through, keep the faith within the process. And then I have another YouTube channel, Vicspiration Philosophy, where I primarily just share words of wisdom. I share my own personal philosophy and insights and perspective on life. And primarily I'm keeping it where it's more spiritual based. And I give my own personal perspective and personal enlightenment to certain ways of life. And my third YouTube channel, which is The Victor Motivation, I share motivational content. So what I do is so Victor the Inspiration is primarily like mental health, and I'm speaking in front of a mass group of people, a broader group of people. And then Vicspiration Philosophy, I picture like I am speaking inside of a church. I'm speaking in front of people who are spiritual seekers, who speak higher, who want to see life in a alternative way, in a much more spiritual light, in a spiritual sense. And then the third YouTube channel, which is The Victor Motivation, is I picture like I am speaking on Grant Cardone's 10X stage. Now, he doesn't do 10X anymore, but he just had his last one. But I picture like I am speaking on his stage. And the reason why I picture his stage is because I am envisioning, that kind of audience. Like in order to attend that kind of conference, you have a certain mindset where you constantly want to grow. You seek growth. You seek improvements. You want to hear the truth as to, why you are stuck. You don't want anyone to sugarcoat it. You want someone to lay out the hard truths and really help you to get to that next step. And then my fourth YouTube channel, which is music, I write lyrics literally from beginning to end. I even write lyrics where I have an idea and I write lyrics, but I get stuck in the middle, and then I incorporate that with the utilization of using AI to help me turn my idea into fruition. And then I have my fifth YouTube channel, the SMA Victor. And that YouTube channel is primarily where I strictly just share and provide SMA resources, SMA education, where SMA awareness. And I have an entire production team that helps me fulfill that vision that I have for that YouTube channel. And I recently just opened up a sixth YouTube channel, which is Podcast Victor. And Podcast Victor is I am incorporating AI and how you can utilize AI, because I feel, at least from what I have seen in the media's eyes, media's headlines is, AI does get a lot of backlash from what I have seen. And, and I want to showcase the contrary. I want to showcase how you can incorporate AI into your daily routine, with being mindful and not careless and reckless while using AI. AI is a resource. It's a tool, and I created that YouTube channel. And the reason why I didn't incorporate that idea into my personal brand, which is Victor the Inspiration, is because AI. There's so many regulations going on right now with YouTube, and new policies are being created. But whether there's more restrictions on AI later, I'd rather have it be on this new YouTube channel, whereas my primary one, where I have been documenting my entire life story, my entire process with my mental health journey, life with SMA, in and out of the hospital, life living with pneumonia, and all of these different things, So that's the reason why I opened up my other YouTube channel, where if AI happens to have more regulations, and it affects the idea and creativity aspect of how I'm using it, I'd rather have that channel be impacted and not everything else, not my main one. And but yeah, so I have all these different channels, and that's the mind behind it, But even on a much bigger business perspective of it, is like right now I'm not like a big shot. I'm not anyone who has a large audience. I am very, very grateful for my audience, don't get me wrong, but I'm not one, where his voice carries a lot of weight. I'm not at that level yet. It doesn't have too much of an influence yet. But on the business side of it is, I can monetize all these different platforms, but even to, when it comes to brand deals is, I can upsell my brand deals, where instead of saying like, hey, you give me X amount of money to advertise XYZ product, right? One, I wouldn't advertise any product. I would really have to believe in that product in order to collaborate or partnership or do any form of collaboration with a brand or a product. I would have to believe in it myself. But, I can upsell them and be like, hey, how about instead of you giving me X amount of money for just advertising it on this platform, would you be interested in advertising it on all of my platforms? And I will charge you, X amount. And, maybe I could charge you for like 3 brand deals and then you get 6 channels, or charge you for 4 brand deals and then you get advertised on 6 channels. That's like the business mindset, which is like the future. I'm thinking long term, and I'm kind of playing strategically in certain ways where I'm not just thinking so much now. I'm thinking about what can I do later, and I even have an idea later. I think it would be cool to kind of document this and reflect on it later, whether or not it works out, whether or not I do it or not. Is I think another cool thing too is I can always have a backpack later, like when my name becomes somebody. Like my name is somebody, don't get me wrong, but like you are somebody now, but in society's eyes, you're not. And anyhow, where I'm going at that is, later too, like an idea I have is I can have a backpack and then I can charge like a monthly subscription or a subscription based or whatever. And I can advertise people's brands on my backpack because, I'll be in the public eye. And my backpack goes with me everywhere just simply because of medical equipment to like help me use the restroom and things like that. But yeah, I think that's like another idea. And then of course you have merch, brand deals, speaking engagements, AdSense, what else? Affiliate links, collaborations, partnerships. There's like so many different ways you can monetize your brand, your name. And I'm thinking way, way, way in the future. That's like the big idea, the big vision for it. And yeah, I think it's a interesting video. It's a little bit different. Excuse me. I apologize if I am out of breath a lot in this video. I've been off and on with my respiratory, but I wanted to create content and get it going. But, the moral of the story is what I am trying to say is when you are building something, do not compare your chapter 11 to somebody else's chapter 50. And what I mean by that is you should seek inspiration from those who are living the lifestyle you desire. Maybe they are in the financial position to buy their dream home, go on vacations every weekend, invest a lot more, maybe start businesses and operate, their plans and do things a lot faster than you can. Or they're able to, retire their parents or help out their family or help with their community or whatever it is I want you to understand that you have to start somewhere. And the best way to start is to simply begin. And once you begin, then you simply continue to take one step at a time, because that is all it takes. That's the message I hope you can take away from this video. One, it's me documenting my idea, the big vision, the big plan, and I'm personally not one to really share his plans, and two, also for you to seek inspiration, whether that is now or later. Remember, you may not be or feel like you are somebody now, but you are. And you do not have to wait for society to tell you that you are worthy to be somebody now or not. Because again, you are somebody now. Continue to take one step at a time. Trust the process, keep the faith, and most importantly, do not give up and stay positive. I love you, I appreciate you, and remember, grow through what you go through. Much love.